And now we look to the American Junior National Champion, Lorenzo Elano. And he's using the short program music that he used last season, Empty Chairs at Empty Tables, and it's particularly poignant as this has now become a tribute to those that lost their lives in the American Airlines Flight 5342.
There's a thing goes on empty chairs at empty tables. Now my friends are dead and gone. It's all a revolution. Here it stays today. It's time about to fall.
It's hard to comment on a program like that for Lorenzo Elano because it was nightmarish and what happened for the jumping passes and mistakes littered throughout it. But you know, for me, it was difficult to even put towards the sentiment behind it now. So
yeah, that was hard because he was doing that as a tribute or as a memory and something special for him. He wanted to do it the way he intended it to be done, and there were some technical challenges which breaks the spell to a certain degree.
And I think it, you know, it reminds us obviously of that tragedy and how we must all honour those lives, and Lorenzo knew skaters that lost their life on that flight, and so the fact that he now chooses to honour them with his choreography is such a beautiful moment. Of course it's still in the sporting arena, and of course we still have to talk about it from a sporting perspective, and the fall there in the triple axel and the mistakes that were made in all three of the jumping passes will decimate the score. But we can see beyond that. You know, you can see
beautiful
camel spins,
yeah.
Gorgeous positioning, and an emotional commitment that he has. But then, of course, again, further.
Yeah, and you know, such an honorable intent for this program to mean something to people watching and to himself as well. And I think his disappointment comes not as much through the falls, of course, that is disappointing, but also feeling perhaps he let himself down to honor those.
And I suppose now the whole skating community, now knowing the sentiment behind it, we are all now 110% behind Lorenzo Elano and every other future performance of this, because I think it is something quite beautiful. And it was a program that he used last season as well, very successfully in garnet attention, and I'm sure it will hopefully again consolidate awareness of what a beautiful skater he is and what a beautiful artist that he is, because he gives me a kind of Jason Brown, Kevin Amos kind of feel.
Yeah, he's a beautiful skater. This is a very rough skate, and I always, my heart goes out to him because of his abilities. You can see them. They weren't on display where he wanted it to be here tonight. They're, you don't know why, but sometimes those turn into gold somehow down the road.
I mean,
and I don't mean medals.
No,
I mean, you know, learning experience. Yeah.
I mean, put it this way, I obviously will not remember it for the mistakes, but Lorenzo Elano now, the beautiful skating and the heartfelt emotion he gives us performing will now make that name be one that I remember when I'm looking at competition entries. Oh, I want to see what that guy does. I'm just slightly concerned that you can see him just rubbing his right thigh, and that loop fall was pretty nasty, so I hope he's okay for the free skate.
49.25 for Lorenzo Elano from the United States. That'll put him currently in the 15th place.